Welcome in this new video of the Photo Inspiration Club. My name is Mark de Rooij and I'm a Dutch-based photographer. In this video I'm going to tell you something about HDR photography. HDR photography is something people are really interested in, and during my workshops I often see people apply HDR photography, which is a good thing of course, but sometimes I see them using HDR photography when actually it's not really needed. And that's where this video is about. When do you need it? How can you make sure you use it in the right moment? I'll bring it to my screen and I will show you. So now you can see my screen, and as you can see I opened Adobe Lightroom with some photos, and I will make them a little bit larger. So we have three photos here. They belong together, as you can see, and also those three photos belong together. Well, first I will want to show you how you can determine if you need HDR photography or not. Let's open this photo in the develop module, and this is basically the basic exposure. So if I press J on the keyboard, then I can see, in this case, the underexposed parts and the overexposed parts. If this happens in one photo, so like this, then you basically need HDR photography. In the histogram on the right side you can see that it hits the right side, that is the bright side, the overexposed side, so that's basically this part, and on the left side there is even a bigger part, that's the underexposed side, and that's all the blue you see now. So if this happens in one photo, it basically means that the dynamic range of your camera cannot meet the dynamic range of the scenery. So in that case you can do whatever you want with your settings. You can change your ISO, you can change your shutter speed or the aperture. It's not gonna work. Your camera is basically not able to capture it. So if that happens, you need HDR photography to solve this problem. If you want to have more details here in the underexposed parts, and also if you want to have more details in the overexposed parts. So that's also the reason why I took more photos in this situation. So I took this photo, the overexposed photo, and what you can see here is all the details under the bridge, they pop up. So that's exactly what I wanted. And this is the underexposed part, and the bridge is way too dark of course, but it's not about the bridge in this photo, it's about the sky. This photo has all the information about the sky, even in this part that is the brightest part. So if you see this happening, the under and overexposed part, and basically in most cameras you cannot see the underexposed parts like it is here. You can see the highlights often because it's gonna blink in the LCD screen. In most camera it's a setting you can turn on or off, but to me I think it's a very helpful setting to turn it on, because you can directly see if there are any highlights in the photo. If you don't have all those indications, you can always check the histogram. The histogram is in every camera, and if in one photo it hits the right and the left side, it's basically a signal you have to use HDR photography. Sometimes you're in a situation where you think you need HDR photography, but in the end it appeared to be it's not needed. So you basically already took 3 or 5 or 7 photos, and then you come home, you look at the photos in the screen, you check the histogram, and you see that, well, basically all the information is already in one photo. That's possible. That's also what happened to me here. You can see here 3 photos. This is the normal exposure. I have to tell you, it's not actually the normal exposure because it's underexposed, so it's a mistake from me in this case. But the overexposed photo is actually perfect. You can see, you can look at the histogram again. It almost looks like it's gonna hit the right side, so the overexposed part, but it's going down, so it doesn't hit the right side. And on the left side it also doesn't hit the left side exactly. So if I press a J here, you don't see any red or blue parts, and that's good. That basically means all the important information is in this photo. So what am I gonna do with this photo and this photo? I really thought I was gonna need it for more details here in the roof, but it's not needed. It's already in this photo. That basically means I don't need to use this one, and I don't need to use this one. So I'm fine with only one photo. I can edit this one. I keep it easy, keep it simple, and I'm not going to make it more complicated as needed. There are some people, I see that during my workshops, if they figure out this, they are going to merge those photos anyways, and then from there they move on with the merge file. And of course you can do it, but it doesn't make sense to me because all the information is already here. So it doesn't make it more complicated than needed. Only use one photo in this case. So for those 3 photos it's different, of course, because yeah, you don't have all the information in the normal exposure. So what some people do, and I also see it in a lot of YouTube videos, they basically say, well, I only have one photo, or they are too lazy to merge the files. I don't know what the reason is, but they basically open up the shadows and they say, well, look, I have all the details under the bridge now also. And of course that's true, and it looks nice if you look it in this screen. But if you're gonna zoom in, you're really gonna see a lot of noise, and to be honest, it's not so bad in this camera. I made this photo with the Fujifilm X-T2, but if your camera is a little bit older, you will have more problems with that. So of course it's a solution, it's an easy way to edit the photo and to make it looks more beautiful in a very easy way. But if you really want to have a high quality photo, or if you have to make large prints, then it's really gonna disturb you. So I don't recommend this to do this, open up the shadows too much. Actually, in my post-processing workflow, I try to avoid opening the shadows as much as possible, because it always brings back some noise. So a better way to go is to merge those 3 files, and I will show you a comparison between this, so you can see the details here now, and this photo. So basically, well, it's still different, but in both photos you can see the details. So let's put those 2 next to each other. And I have to select this one, of course. Let's zoom in. Oh, it's still loading, so that's why it's kind of blurry now. Well, it's loaded now. So if you look very good, you can see more noise in the right photo compared to the left one. So that's not a good thing, of course. And I can zoom in even more to 200%. So look at this, it's very noisy and it's not nice in big prints. So that's the disadvantage of opening up the shadows if it basically is underexposed. First it looks nice, but if you look more carefully you will see that there are a lot of disadvantages also in this technique. So if you have underexposed photos, and if you made more photos for the HDR, so an over and underexposed photo, please merge them together, and from that and continue with the merge file, because the quality will be much better. Yeah, I hope you learned something about HDR photography. If you want to learn more about HDR photography and specifically about cityscape photography, which I'm specialized in, please go to the website photoinspirationclub.com. In the website you can download a free ebook. It's about 50 pages long. There's a lot of information about HDR photography. It will be very helpful to develop you further. Please also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't want to miss any new video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment if you want to see other topics, have specific questions. Please send us an email and we try to make videos about those topics also. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and see you in the next video.